Sex scenes are not comfortable experiences. They're not sexy.
Which is in shape for most people. He's out of shape, so.
Basically, he's a young man who's ostracized by society and takes the rather tumultuous journey with the guidance of an oracle and the Greek gods, unbeknownst to him, from atheist to martyr.
I play Zeus, who's the king of the gods. He's a father figure, he's a law provider. He oversees what's going on in Mount Olympus and also on Earth, or wherever we care to place where Theseus is from. And he watches the story unfold. He watches this young man go through turmoil, and he has influence on what goes on there. But as a god, he tries to keep back and forces his other gods to stay out of their dealings. They have to find their own way. Obviously, the big challenge was that I'm 31, and most actors, that's a challenge. But most actors who have played the role of Zeus have always, historically been much older than myself. So that was a big challenge for me to inhabit that character and understand the father figure side of it, the king side of it, the ruler side of it. Yeah.
You always try and make someone feel more comfortable anyway, but sex scenes are not comfortable experiences. They're not sexy. It's very choreographed. You're feeling very uncomfortable, and it's just one of those things that you have to do. I mean, to sell part of a story sometimes. Yeah, they are what they are.
They're actually quite funny, aren't they?
It's not a sexy thing.
No,
it's not. You're not sort of going, oh yeah, it's work. And it's like doing a dance. It's choreographed, and the director's saying, hand here, sort of, okay, your arm's blocking your face, so move your arm. And there's different camera angles which have to work, and there's ways the curtains are billowing or whatever.
You're ruining it for their audience now.
No, I'm not.
You're ruining the romance.
It'll still be there. It'll still be there. But yeah, it is what it is.
Oh, it was intense. I mean, it's the hardest thing physically I've ever done. It was a great challenge and really enjoyable to see your body change in quite a short time for myself. Henry had been doing it for
6 months.
Yeah, he'd already started training. I got the job much later in the process than Henry, so I was left with 7 weeks. But in those 7 weeks, I lost 30 pounds in weight, and
did an awesome job.
I still can't believe it did it. But it was about commitment and being in Montreal, not having anything else to do, not knowing anybody. You got woken up in the morning by your trainer, and and you just did what you had to do. You wanted to look good on screen, and it was part of the role. And yeah, it was great. We both enjoyed it thoroughly, but it was very, very hard going, especially when we started shooting.
Yeah, very, very intense. I mean, training itself of that intensity is very difficult and takes a lot of time. But the most difficult thing is trying to maintain it and trying to keep your body fat down while you're shooting 14-hour days.
Starving.
You're exhausted. Yeah, I mean, we had half-hour lunches, so no time to really train. You'd literally do some pull-ups or some sit-ups or anything with the resistance bands before a take, and that was what you consider your training. Yes, it's a nice base to work from. Of course, I did a job immediately after Immortals, which meant I had to be out of shape, which was disappointing but fun at the same time.
Which is in shape for most people. He's out of shape, so
but anyway, yes, it's a nice base to work from. The training, I've started training for a month now, and I'm getting back to the early days of Theseus, and hopefully the next 4 months will transform me into what I need to be for Superman. The idea of it being an iconic character isn't necessarily a pressure thing and a nervousness thing. It's more of the honour and the opportunity to play such a great thing. It's exciting more than anything else. It's the audition process, as nerve-wracking as it was. Now that you have the job, it's all about focus and drive and dedication to getting that job right. It's an incredibly important thing to get right, and to add your own flavour to as well. And so that's more of an opportunity and an exciting process for me, as opposed to a nerve-wracking, nail-biting thing.